So when you are ready to write your background paragraph, there's a few things that should be included in this paragraph. First, you want to state what is the status quo of your topic, like what's the current situation with your topic in society. Second, you'll include definitions that are important to your topic, and those might be definitions that aren't necessarily general. They might be a definition that in a way that you define electronic device, the way you define appropriate use, and that might vary from reader to reader. So you want to specify the definitions that you use in your paper, words that are reoccurring, key terms that you use, and define what you believe they mean. Then finally, you have laws, regulations, or court cases that might be important to you or that might be important to your topic. So the status quo. Status quo is the current situation with your topic. So if you remember, I've been kind of parallel writing with you, writing an essay about cell phones. Cell phones are currently not allowed in the classrooms at Olathe East High School. Some teachers opt not to follow this rule, while others are very strict in the policy. So that would be my status quo sentence for my background paragraph. Definitions. What should you define? It's words that you refer to in your essay that you might circle as key terms if you were the reader. Terms that have a bias, so define your personal bias on how you view the world, or the word, excuse me, how you view the word. So for example, for my topic of cell phone use in the classroom, I might define what is an electronic device. Electronic devices, as far as I'm concerned, they include cell phones, iPods, tablets, and MP3 players. Other teachers might just say, that's just the cell phones, or maybe that's just the MP3 player, but I want to include all of those in the term of electronic devices. The second thing I want to define would be appropriate use. Appropriate use to me in my classroom is defined as devices being used for academic purposes only. This would not include testing or during lecture or group discussions. That's when I would want those things put away. So that kind of specifies when I say appropriate use what my expectation would be as I'm writing my essay. Laws, restrictions, and court cases. For most of your topics, you're going to find stuff that's in the court systems. You're going to find current laws, you're going to find current restrictions. So I went to the Olathe East Faculty Handbook. According to the Faculty Handbook, it is considered disruptive conduct to use cell phones or electronic devices during class time. And I quoted that exactly. Then I went ahead and looked online and tried to find, are there any court cases that deal with cell phones or deal with cell phone use in the classroom or cell phones in education. And the 5 cases that have been decided that involve cell phones in public education. And 3 of the cases upheld the enforcement of the school policies that prohibit phones and other devices on campus. And I go a little more into this in my example in a moment, but most of those court cases had to do with the seizure of the phone, like a teacher confiscated a student's phone or searched for one. So here would be my example. Cell phones are currently not allowed in the classrooms at Olathe East High School. Status quo. According to the Faculty Handbook, they are disruptive to class environment. That would be my policy. Back to my status quo. Some teachers opt not to follow this rule, while others are very strict to the policy. Then I move on to my definition. Students are expected to have appropriate use for their devices, which is defined as being used for academic purposes only. There are several court cases, and then I move into my court cases and regulations. Court cases regarding cell phones that are confiscated by educators, and the court system supported the school policies in 3 of the 5 cases. Then here is where some people choose to put their thesis. You may choose to put your thesis in the introduction paragraph or in the background paragraph. I would choose one of those 2 paragraphs. I wouldn't go any deeper into the essay without supplying your reader with their thesis statement. So those are the requirements for your essay. Status quo, definitions that are important to the topic, laws, regulations, or court cases, and then a possible or optional thesis. Please begin writing and be sure to have your friend or neighbor check it and write 2 comments, and then have your teacher check it as well.